Okay, modelers, we're back again, and here we are ready to lay down our first coat of base coat on this. This is going to be our standard kind of white color that's going to go over the entire hull first before we start doing our detail paint work. So I'm ready to spray here. I've mixed up some of my white, and I've got that all set in my gun here, so I'm going to go ahead and knock this out, and we'll get our first color coat down on these. Okay, that's looking pretty good. That's a nice shade of white I was looking for there. It's just a little bit of an off-white. I've got white, black, and just a little tin of tan kicked into this paint to give it kind of an eggshell white color. And I'm going to go ahead and dry these pieces real quick. I'll let them dry here for a minute or two, and then I'll come back and give it another light coat, and I'll be done with these parts on the outside. And I'll come back and spray the inside surfaces here so we get a lot of nice light distribution when we light up those LEDs. Looks like it all went on there pretty good without any trash getting in it, so we're always happy about that. My compressor in the background is pretty loud. We'll be back in a second. We'll put on another coat. Okay, we've got our first coat laid down and dried. Time to put another little light coat on it. Don't need to go super heavy with your paint here. Like I said, the thicker your paint is, the harder it is to dry, and the more chances you've got of something going wrong. So just nice thin coats are all that's needed. Dry this one again. This drying here really helps these so you can handle them right away and keep moving with your work instead of sitting and waiting for an hour or two for everything to dry. Alright, those are looking real good. Pretty good coverage there. What I'm going to do now is flip these over and go ahead and get the insides so we can make sure we've got a nice spraying it kind of high pressure here, moving these parts around a little bit. Normally I turn it down a little bit more. Okay. And that's going to give me a nice reflection surface inside there for keeping that light bouncing around in there nice. So a couple of LEDs should light up this lower section pretty well. Okay, I'll take a look at the part here up close, make sure we didn't miss anything. Looks like some good coverage on all that. Yep, very good. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'll be back in just a second. I'm going to start taping this thing up, and I'm going to be actually coming in now and doing my panel area here. This area here is going to start off with a shade of blue that I've already worked up, and I'll show you what that's going to be in this little deflector area here, part of this neck assembly. We're going to be painting that in, and that's going to get us started on the detail paint work for this primary hull. So I'll get this taped up and be back in just a second, and we'll go ahead and airbrush that color on there. Okay, I've got my second color laid down on here. This is a flanker blue. This is kind of a dark blue-gray. And I've got this center section here masked off. I've got the outer edges laid on. And what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be coming back with some of my thin tape here, and I'm going to be making grid lines on this and taping around the outside edge and coming back with my light blue. And so when I lay this on here and then I go back and pull my tape, I'm going to have that nice grid pattern on there in the two shades of blue with a little border line all the way around the whole thing. So let me put the camera up here for just a second, get this taped, and I'll spray on my light color, and we'll come back and take a look at how this turns out. Okay, as you can see here, we've got our grid work all laid down there with our tape, and we're ready to come back now and spray on our next color, which is our robin's egg blue. I'm just going to lightly dust this on here. I'm trying to keep my angle straight down on my tape, try not to get too close and spray up underneath of the edges of your tape, and that's going to help without getting any bleed through there. And dry this real quick. Now what I should wind up here is a nice two-tone color with my nice grid work going on. I've got some reference photos I'm going to be putting on the video here to show you what I'm trying to copy on a paint job I've been looking at on this ship. So this should look pretty nice. And this is just the beginning. I can't wait to get into all those rings that I'm going to have to do on the saucer, so it's pretty challenging. Okay, so we've got that all dried. Let me go and pull the tape here, and I'll be back in just a second and show you what this looks like. Okay, there it is. I hope you can see what that looks like fairly clear. That turned out really nice. That's exactly the pattern we were looking for that's going on the side of this. I'm going to be coming up here now and taping off this area and doing this this kind of detail work here up on the neck. And then besides just a little bit of the life pod things and some other little small details in the back rib area here, the detailing work on this lower half is already almost done. So really happy with that color combination. It looks exactly like the pictures that I'm working with. So I'm going to go ahead now and mask off that upper neck area and paint that, and I'll give you a final shot of this this part here when we're finished. Okay, here's our completed starboard side, and you can see we've got a little detail neck work done on the neck here and on the sides, and it turned out really nice. Didn't get any paint come up at all. It's nice and crisp, and that's what we get for doing our prep work here properly. So hope these little tips help you out on your paint work. I'm not going to go through the video of doing the other side here, just wanted to show you guys a nice view of what this is turning out like. And I'll be back again in the next segment with some more secondary hull assembly here. I'm going to get this all, the two halves glued together once it's all painted, and get it mounted on my rod here, my mounting rod. And that way I can start laying in some of the wiring. I'll actually complete this whole assembly, and then I'll start working on the saucer top. And so we'll see you for the next video, and until then, happy modeling, everybody.